Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Neil was just singing about Mr. Meowington, and
Little
whatnot.
Miss Meowington, thank you very much.
I don't know.
Jesus.
I thought she
That's
was married.
rude.
I don't know.
That doesn't make her a mister.
I don't know. Don't fucking assume. Wait.
What do you mean it don't assume? I had her neutered. Or spayed, rather. What's he doing?
My dad is
good.
offering to meet me at the house to help me with the hot water tank in case I need help.
Oh, there was just like deathly silence after I was like, I had her spayed, and it was just like deathly silence. And I was like, what's going on? Hello?
He was looking down at his phone.
Yeah, sorry. My dad and I have been texting.
Same.
2:45. All right, cool.
I tell you what, he's a contortionist.
So just barely the gnome was able to get it. So let's deal with the Jake thing first. Jake, you're making your way downtown, walking fast, no horses to help you. Just kidding. You have the Phantom Steed, which is going to last for many hours. So you hop on the steed, you're like, where's the... As you are traveling very quickly there, much faster than Kara can get there, and you're like, I could get used to this. This is nice.
At least don't spoke
Okay, so it might be better that he goes alone than if he can travel, because I can't travel with him on that, can he? Can I?
No.
Yeah, then maybe you go alone and I'll sort of stay here. Okay.
Alright.
Well, how fast is the Phantom Steed? I should ask before I say.
It's 80 or 90
everything.
feet per... No, wait, hold on. He's level 8 because he's not allowed to cast 5th level spells, right? Yeah. So he's at 80 feet per... is his space speed, and he can double move and whatnot, so...
God damn.
Yeah.
I am
I-
not
I-
keeping up with you even if I try.
Yeah, I also before I leave, where is it?
In that case, I will give you Virgil
Myself
and
a nice
fly
mustache.
nearby.
Are you disguising yourself to
I-
look like the gnome?
No,
Ah, that was so funny!
That
You're
would
on
be
his steed!
hilarious.
it would have been.
Yeah! You can
I
go,
will be
you can
giving-
look a size category smaller, right? Or is it just a foot? Oh, just a foot. How tall is Viggo? Yeah, no, that won't. Wait, no.
Yeah, so we'll reverse it. I'll give
Taller
him
than you,
Virgil,
Scott.
and I'll stay at the house.
It's Brittany is exactly 1 foot shorter than me. Disguise self, I could look like Brittany. Oh, I'd be so inappropriate. Drive her up a wall. All right. Anyways, so you guys obviously not you guys. You're obviously not going the full speed, because you want what's his face to keep up with you, but he's Superman flying over. Are you really flying still?
So- Well,
I assume you want to be on foot.
Well, okay, so there's ways of doing this. If I am going with him, what I would be doing is flying above the fog and keeping like up with him.
So you want to continue this whole flying everywhere thing? It is very, 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 very ostentatious.
Oh, it's because I can't keep. If I run along, I'll be running along the ground in crystal form because it's the only way I'd be able to keep up. I think.
I got this. Scott? No, you. Carry on.
It's basically the only way I'd be able to keep up is running in crystal form. So I might as well be above the fog where less likely people are going to see me.
You can't wear just your regular armor. Not you have to wear your crystal armor to be quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm 30-foot speed without my crystal armor.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So you go nice and quick, trying to keep up with him as best of your ability.
Basically, what I'll do. So how? Okay. The motion made there is running. So am I going on foot or what's happening?
Whatever you want to do, I don't give a fuck. You keeping up. You guys get to the banking house.
So the way you're describing the fog is it's thick enough that if I was flying above it, no one would see me.
Unless somebody was like on a roof or whatever.
Oh, okay. In that case,
Just
Like
take it. He said we got
upper
there,
floor.
Tess. He said we got there.
You got there.
Right, we're
Yeah,
there.
look,
Just take the win, dude.
I'll run alongside and just be a little bit delayed.
Okay, so yeah, but he'd not go full speed. He'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And you make your way downtown, riding fast, faces past, bank bound. You go in, and the person that's inside there, again, this isn't like a bank, like there's a teller and whatnot, like you guys experienced back in, give me a second. Hodgwen, thank you. Back in Hodgwen, I am not allowed to forget that name. I'll get lots of hate mail from people about how there hasn't been an Adirian update in a hot minute. I had COVID. Before that, I was applying to a job with like all my spare time. So just 5 interviews and a project. So anyways, back to you. So the when you go in, when you like walk up to the place, it looks like a large, like wealthy person's home. So you go knocking on the door. The person answers it, and again, it's like a butler. And they're like, good day, officer. Is there something I could assist you with?
Yeah, I'm disguised right now, so I don't look like an officer.
Oh, my apologies. Good day, sir. Is there something I could assist you with?
Yes, I'm here to cash this, and he will produce the thing.
You mean to make a full withdrawal?
Yes, that is correct.
He nods understandingly and says, I imagine you have your identification paperwork and the like with you.
All right, so Viggo's not stupid. All right, he knows the way things work. What would I have needed for this?
Identification paperwork to certify who you are, so they can keep track of who it was that withdrew this money from the account.
Okay, beautiful. Yep, I
Okay.
do. I have perfect identification as Magpie.
Okay.
That's true, yeah.
And you say, you say, of course. And he says, would you like to come in?
Yep.
Good. And he'll step to the side, and you go walking in. And then he'll look to, are you still crystalline?
No. I would have been basically. I'm just sort of waiting nearby at this point.
Gotcha, not going in. Gotcha. So he looks out at the steed and then looks back at you as he shuts the door and says, that's a magnificent steed you have out there.
Thank you.
Are you a mage?
I am short on time. I don't mean to be rude, but day is getting on.
He nods understandingly and says, of course. Please give me some time and I will go and acquire somebody that can go through the process with you because, of course, we don't just go handing out small fortunes on a whim. But you knew that, of course. Come with. Did you want a beverage while you were waiting?
I'll be okay, thank you.
He nods and he'll gesture you to a sit and wait in a nice, comfortable location. About an hour passes before finally somebody will come to, before he'll come back to get you and be like, we were able to find time for you, sir, if you would like to come and speak with one of the ladies of the manor.
Of course, thank you.
You go and you'll follow them into an office that happens to be inside of this home, and they'll say, goes in, they open the door, you go to sit down, and she'll stand up and walk over to you and say, Magpie, it's a pleasure to meet you. And she's very well dressed, of course, her hair pulled back, very businesslike, kind of like has a bit of like large curls or whatever in her hair, but pulled into a tail behind her. Again, well dressed and whatnot. You can see that the pen on her desk is probably worth a good 200-300 gold pieces. You know what I mean? Because of the gold quill or whatever that's there. Like she's clearly put together, wealthy, nice office, etc., etc. So she walks over and reaches out a hand and says, Magpie, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is mine. Your name is?
Stefania.
Oh, it was very nice to meet you, Stefania. I gather you'll be the one helping me with my withdrawal today?
To the best of my ability. Please have a seat. Let's go over details.
Let's.
Okay. She goes over, she sits down, she kind of like gets comfortable in the chair. And she looks up at you and she just smiles and just full on looks at you.
Yeah, I look at him.
What?
Stefania?
Yes.
Can we get this moving?
Indeed. There's a small problem with your request here.
Which is?
Well, first and foremost, you're requesting 8,500 gold pieces in value to be removed. You know, a parent crown in value to be removed from said accounts. But that account's current balance is only just over double that in its entirety. Withdrawing nearly half the account's funds in one sitting is well outside of the, shall we say, the norm for our bank's practices.
With withdrawal limit. Okay, what is the withdrawal limit?
Normally, for an account of that size, we would cap you off at 5,000 gold pieces. That would be under a normal circumstance. But then again, I do have another small problem. She produces from inside of her desk a piece of paper and says, would you care to read it yourself, or would you like me to read it to you?
I'll read the paper.
So she turns and hands it to you, and you can read in, so you can see that it's pre-scribed or whatever, and like recent details were filled in, because you can tell that the ink is much newer than the other parts of it. But by order of Battle Commander Rylor of the paramilitary, the dissolution of certain bank accounts are supposed to be put into order, or at least the hold of them, while investigations are looked into, so on and so forth, based off of the various bits of information that were acquired and provided for under an ongoing investigation, and so on and so forth. She says, you can see that there is a complication for this matter.
All right, using my vast knowledge of whatever it is there any loopholes I can think of, on the spot?
Well, you're no banker, but
Nope.
you can go ahead and roll a, shall we say, an intelligence check.
I see.
And then I'll get into the RP.
believe.
Your mind just says, shit.
I don't believe.
Scanning the document. I don't know if I could make it linguistics, or you just want to cover that with the intelligence.
It's just covering the intelligence, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So, so she says, now you can see that this is unfortunate. I wouldn't want to agitate Battle Commander Rylor. He is a very well and deeply respected member of local society. We wouldn't want to go and upset him now, would we?
You're muted.
You're muted. Good, because he had a slaying remark right there.
Yeah,
Scathing.
the face he was making says he had a comeback.
Yeah, and he ruined it.
all I said was considering the battle commander is dead. I don't remember what I said anymore.
Yeah, that's
It
fine.
was something along those
So she goes, "Oh, you heard? It's terrible what happens to the poor battle commander. Cut down where he stood, as far as I understood it. Now, we don't want to go in insulting his integrity or who he was as a man. I imagine where he rests, with whichever gods he chose to worship, he would expect a degree of respect in his passing. Now, as for that degree of respect, I would love to uphold his request to seize all of the funds that were put in place here. Before we go any further in this, Magpie, who are you?
Magpie, why do you ask?
Well, this account here was blocked off around the same time that the raiding started happening on the Black Knights, which would lead me to believe that potentially these funds were to benefit the Black Knights.
You haven't heard? The Black Knights are no more.
Ah. Likely because of measures taken like this, she says, gesturing to the paper.
I think more along the lines of the majority of them are dead.
She nods. He was very effective in his leadership, wasn't he? Again, may the gods rest. Sorry, may he rest with the gods. So, you're one of the last few members?
I'm gonna sense motive her.
Go ahead.
She's a Black Knight. That's what I'm calling it now.
Did you want to lock that?
I don't think we have any luck, but
God damn it.
Oh, sorry, it's been a hot minute. So, she says, she's pretty stone-faced, but you know clearly she's inquiring for information. Like, that's very obvious. But exactly why, you're not 100% sure. So, you don't think she's necessarily a Black Knight, but you also don't necessarily think that she's working for the Peridot military. Like, she's trying to get some sort of upper hand in this conversation. But at the same time, is not straight up telling you no. Like, she's almost seems like she's trying to work with you here.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was definitely getting.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's America's ass.
He says, well, the Black Knights are notoriously secretive. I don't think any Black Knight would openly reveal themselves anywhere. So that question is kind of moot. There's only one answer.
She says, indeed, that does make things a little bit more complicated, doesn't it? However, I would like to say that the Black Knights, as an organization, it's not exactly like they were able to come across all of their funding without a degree of assistance from, say, merchants.
Help
me out here, Tesh, because I'm drawing a blank.
She's with the Merchants Guild, and I think this account was set up in like a not as official circumstances, which is why she was the one that was going. That's why it took so long for them to find someone to help you, because they needed to go find her because she's the one that deals with this. Meaning this is under the table.
Right. Okay. Oh well, then this type. So am I thinking this account is not necessarily known, or it is?
Well, more or less, most likely you're dealing with the merchants organization, and they were front running. What's the word I'm looking for here? Like fronting the Black Knights for various accounts, but or at least holding on to assets of theirs, so that way, like, it was all under the table, so the military couldn't necessarily touch it, right?
Yeah.
So this writ did not say this specific account or any specific names or anything like that. She's using it as a bargaining chip against you. So continue, because there would be things above water and then things very underwater. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
I think maybe they want a slice of the pie, maybe.
Right. Well, this is Jake's brain not
on drugs,
being able to formulate a proper plan here.
The way you said that, this is Jake's brain on drugs.
I mean, Galen is there, so feel free if you at any point you want to chime in.
I unfortunately said that I was waiting outside.
Are you waiting outside?
No. But you, like, to be clear, the three humans that are the PCs are smarter sorry, Viggo is smarter than you three PCs put together. So if you combine your thoughts to make up for the vast intelligence of Viggo, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think maybe go for an arrangement where you withdraw some funds and make a little bit of a donation to the bank.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. So Viggo says, surely not all of this is in a one place. Probably in many accounts, maybe some known, some not. What if we made a withdrawal, but also a donation? You're with the guild.
She leans in and says, "Go on."
70-30 split?
Shakes her head. No. Here are the terms. Your writ here is for 8,500. We both know that that is a laughable number. I will gladly give to you 4,000 that you can walk out with right now. But you're also going to give me your word. And, of course, as terms are with the Black Knights, as they've always been, a small amount of your blood to keep your word. And in exchange, you're going to provide for me that weapon that your organization told me about. It sounds beautifully devastating. I already have 3 buyers lined up, and I wouldn't want to disappoint them. Now, Magpie, you seem like a brilliant man. I would hate to see such a wonderful mind go to waste.
I see. Also, I'd hate to see my blood in the hands of anyone else. Your other terms are agreeable.
Oh, but of course the
However,
Black Knights no longer exist.
You are correct.
The weapon?
We have one, I think. Didn't we take one?
Yep,
We
I
do have-
think it's on Tesh.
No, I kept track of what they were. They'd be in his bag.
It's in the bag, yeah.
Yeah,
It's in the
they'd be in
bag.
his bag. I kept track of what they are.
Where's the bag?
Let me.
I have the bag.
He,
Oh, okay.
he has the bag. It's his. It's
My
his.
haversack.
Haversack. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. We put the magical stuff in there deliberately. Okay. We have. Where are they? Sorry, I have to bring up all the stuff we had to get.
That's all right.
Okay.
We know
Masterwork
that's-
sword and a saber would be the two. Oh, there is a dagger with a garnet, but that was with the undead there.
Yep.
But yeah, masterwork sword and a finely crafted saber, both like masterwork level, but also pristine.
She
So
means
one of
the
them could
gun.
be-
To
She
be
does. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The pistol, the flintlock,
That
he does
does
say,
connect. Yeah.
or hand cannon. Sorry.
All
So
right,
what
let's-
you
let's-
ought to do is reach into the handy haversack when she hands you the gold, pull it out, wait 3 seconds while she's like, no, you're making a mistake, as the fuse goes.
Anyways, so she says, you have the weapon.
I do, and you have buyers lined up for it. You said 3?
He did.
Indeed.
You have quite the bidding war.
Which is why I would like to have the weapon now, and that way we don't have to worry about pint of blood, trust, or faith. So, how about
I
you?
could hand you the weapon. Could we make it 5,000 gold? The weapon, obviously, you'll sell for much more. It's you don't see many of these around. They're rather a specialty item.
She'll lean back in her seat and smile and say, Now, we can't have you going on and cutting into my profits. It's quite the danger providing the services we have up until this point.
Of course, but while dangerous it has been, it's been very profitable.
Yes, that's how these things work, aren't they?
Yes, and while the Black Knights may be no more, maybe there are other groups that may pop up in place that need to do business. So this is, whilst the end of one relationship, may be the start of another.
No, thank you.
I was hoping for a diplomacy roll or something, Scott, but hard no. I mean, I've tried. Then there's nothing I can do.
You can absolutely try to continue to haggle, but she says no, thank you to the relationship.
Offer an exclusive stay in a local establishment.
She's with the Merchants Guild. She's
Yeah.
the-
But they won't be able to offer her a stay in jail, will they?
You also have information of a lot of stuff going on, like about Dreyfus and whatnot, right?
She's literally just admitted. You could arrest her right now.
Yeah, but that wouldn't go down well. I imagine there's.
What if we had
Why not?
information to trade? What is there to? Yeah, because I don't want to reveal myself right now. This is a thing we can deal with later.
This is an in with the Merchants Guild for later, which is what
I don't want an in with the Merchants Guild. They want to sell a gun.
No, I'm not. It's okay. What I mean is ruining this this in. This can
Every
be how
time she
we-
says something, they stray closer to Black Knight material.
Yeah.
This is just a market. That's all it is. They don't engage in criminal activity beyond the procuring and resale of illicit materials. They don't do murder. They don't do any of that stuff. By proxy, you absolutely can say that they had a hand in it, sure, but they are not a terrorist organization. Continue, Jake.
Scott, there's no gray. They're either good or they're bad. Okay.
Oh, we know what Tristan is. A naughty boy. Go ahead, Jake.
I'm just asking the other two. Information. What could be something we could give her?
So just as a reminder, you obviously know a lot about what's going on with the Dice Lords, right? And
Yeah.
that is obviously a competitor of hers. So,
Yeah. What exactly?
There's power
can we tell
vacuums,
her is what I'm
so.
saying.
go ahead.
Yeah.
That's you, boys.
I'm trying to think because I'm trying to think what would be good to tell her. Telling her that he was recently injured might. I mean, saying of information. It's one of those things where getting
Can
the
I just give- do you
information
think
to be
giving her a-
valuable.
Giving her a tip, more or less, that Dreyfus maybe know more soon and to be ready to move on his holdings.
I think you'd have to make it slightly more specific, and that when the deed is done, you would have to let her know, like via letter at that time. But I would have thought that's a relatively potent bit of information, like they are leaderless now, like now's the time to move.
Actually, yeah, that especially since from if I remember right, the way we were looking at things, they were going to be one of the easier to work with, considering we already worked with them with the Parador with like getting in here.
There's a Harbor
They
Masters.
smuggled us in. It was the Harbor Masters.
Yeah. Because you're a direct competitor with the Harbor Masters.
No, I thought it was the merchants because we came in as merchants.
You came on a merchant vessel with the Harbor Masters.
Where am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Harbor
'cause
Masters
it's
themselves are
on-
specifically a terrorist organization, though.
No, I wrote in my notes.
Oh, if I told you the
um,
merchants, then that's fine. But I swear it was the Harbor
Yeah,
Masters.
merchants. I specifically brought in brackets smuggled us in.
Okay, then
under the
the
merchants.
merchants you guys have worked with in the past. Okay, that's fine. But I either way, but the Harbor Masters are a terrorist organization, which is a competitor of theirs. They are not a terrorist organization. They're just a criminal
Yeah,
organization.
that's what I mean. Like we know what I wanted to get out of this is that we know that we've worked with the merchants before properly, meaning they're one of the factions that we can deal with in positive terms rather than eliminate or remove from the equation.
Yeah.
So
Like the guy
get-
selling pot on the side of the road is not your concern. Your concern is the one that's,
exactly.
that's intentionally poisoning like the water hole. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think offering them the information of when the dice lords go down is probably not a bad idea.
All right, so okay, we'll go with that thing. He says, "You don't want to work together again? That's fine. How do you feel about, say, maybe some information, very profitable, important information, time sensitive, you may say."
I'm going to need a little bit more as to the subject you're discussing prior to my being interested.
Of course. You see, Dreyfus, leader of the Vice Lords.
She leans in.
Yeah.
You're a competitor in some things. What if Dreyfus was no more.
Roll
And you
diplomacy at
knew
this point.
exact-
And you keep talking.
Yep.
Sorry.
A second.
Gonna luck it.
Well, it's still a 19.
Gonna luck it. There
Yeah,
you go.
21.
All right. Continue. You were saying something. I interrupted you.
Say something happens to Dreyfus, and you knew. You could move very quickly in acquiring those assets that are a competitor to yourself, or maybe you want to branch out. I don't care. But knowing exactly when and if would be very important.
I do have to say it is unsettling what he's done with the beasts that we've sold to him over the years. Reacquiring them and reallocating them to a place where they can have a more comfortable life, if they even live any longer, would be nice. You have actionable intel against Dreyfus and the intent to use it.
I do, and what I can offer you is when the deed is done, you will know within the hour. That's a timely matter, right?
Yeah. That's fucking timely.
Yeah. You'll know within the hour.
How soon?
We got the impression it's gonna be soon, right?
You have the impression like in the next 24 hours. Yeah. You just want to heal
Yeah.
Neil first.
He says, very.
She leans back and thinks for a moment. She leans in and says, is this a small contingent, a small strike force against Dreyfus to end his reign? Or is this to dissolve the Dice Lords from beneath him?
As far as I'm aware, the issue is with Dreyfus directly, but without Dreyfus, what are the Dice Lords?
She leans back and she stays silent for like a solid minute, contemplating. She'll lean in again. Are you yourself going to engage in this?
I wouldn't dream of such a thing.
So you have those beneath you.
Just gives her a look.
If you are telling me that the Dice Lords are going to be, not entirely, but effectively disrupted and dissolved, that there is an opportunity here that is actionable, and we will have a degree of forewarning and certainly immediate information afterwards, I think there could be an understanding, an arrangement made between you and myself. Let's say, first and foremost, do you know much about Dreyfus as an individual? Do you know what he's capable of?
I have some idea. And he smiles at that.
This is happening incredibly soon.
I'm gonna sense motive her.
By soon, she doesn't mean like today. She means like, you're not talking about a year from now, a month from now. You mean like
okay.
soon.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to roll
Yes.
sense motive. I don't want you to think I'm trying to beguile you to not roll it.
Yeah. He says yes. Soon.
She's very enticed. She nods and she says, faith. It's a powerful thing. For some people, without faith, they won't even get up in the morning, let alone put in the proper effort throughout the day. And certainly, real relationships cannot start without a shred of faith between one and the other. I will give you that faith. She actually will open up her drawer and she'll pull out a small little glass container. She opens up the glass container and there's a little bit of liquid inside there. She then will blink a few times and then hold her eye open as she goes and slides a hard crystal piece off of one eye and places it into the glass container, and then goes and slides another hard crystal piece off of her other eye and places it into the container, closes it up, shakes it up, and then slides it forward before you. I handle Dreyfus's minions myself, directly. never have they ever been able to grab hold of my attention more than I wanted to give them.
Oh shit! That's awesome.
Is it awesome? Dude, she just took those directly out of her eyes and she's like, yeah, you can put them in your eye. Like,
Hell.
ew, dude, unsanitary.
She's
Prestidigitation
to
is
me
fine.
at the moment.
It's act of faith.
Yeah. He says, and we will return your faith.
She nods and says, I believe that account. She opens up like a folder or whatever in front of her, opens up, looks it over and says, 19,135 gold is currently what's inside of that account, or the various different accounts that are under its umbrella. She closes the folder again and says, a lot of red tape I'm going to have to cut through. Let's see how good my scissors are.
He chuckles at that.
She'll stand up and say, it was a pleasure meeting you, Viggo.
He laughs at that. He says, "You too." He uses it whenever I can't remember what name. Stefania.
Stefania, yeah.
Yeah, you too, Stefania. Hopefully, what does he say? To future, he just more or less says to future relations.
She shakes her head and says, give me a second. To the River King.
He smiles and says, to the River King.
And you can leave.
Right, I'll leave. Well, yeah,
She is well informed.
She promised you 4,000 up front, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So you'll be able to get 4,000 up front. Hey, listen, it was through the military on that side working with the organization to get you here. Your real name and title that you're known through a whole while.
I have a mustache on. All right? I'm disguised. Okay.
Look, we've been
very
through
nice
how bad
mustache.
these disguises are.
They're very good disguises, Tesh.
That's a
All right?
DC-30 mustache.
Yeah.
Damn, it's like Clark Kent's glasses.
I'm trying to find the mustache.
You're trying to put a mustache on him.
Yeah. I can't find it, though. Oh well. I can't find the mustache. No.
What the fuck are these images?
I think the mustache is gone. Oh well, that's too bad. Okay. It's been some weird ones over the years, Neil. Anyways, so you would walk back out with an understanding that if you give an opportunity for her to seize greater control of the area, that's a good thing. And again, this is a criminal organization, and you can imagine the River King understands that you can't control everything with an iron fist, right? Like he's a very what's the word I'm looking for here? Pragmatic leader. Either way, you walk out with 4,000 gold coin and a pair of contact lenses, or they're called like crystal lenses, I think in D&D. They're actually very uncomfortable until you get used to them, which takes like a few months to get used to them because they're hard crystal that goes over your eyeball. I imagine they're very comfortable for Jake. Tesh. Tesh just put them on and he's just kind of like, like home. Anyways, you go back, return back there. The gnome has yet to return. I don't know if you talk. Do you want to talk to Tesh on the way back, or you just wait until you talk to Neil too?
We'll probably just get back.
Okay, yeah, go back and talk to Neil. Go ahead.
Is Neil awake?
It's up to Neil. He needs 6 hours of sleep, 8 hours of rest. So.
Yeah, I mean it's not nighttime, right? Trish probably be moping, sitting down somewhere.
Chris, we're back. We had a relatively successful time. We didn't get the whole 8.5, but we have managed 4, with a promise for more.
Good. I guess that'll pay for the scroll.
Yes. Hopefully you can be back at your fighting weight soon enough. We've also been given something that will help stop them being able to mess with our mind. At least one of our minds. If we're going into battle, I dare say that they should go to you. They're rather
already have my-
uncomfortable.
I already have my own protection, so I agree.
It'll leave me rather vulnerable, but I'm not you, Tristan. And this battle is going to come down to probably more so the two of you than it is with me. I'll do whatever I can. But these should go to you.
You hand those over to him, and while he's contemplating his answer, you hear in your mind, 25 words or less, and you instantly know that it's actually from somebody by the name of Risen, as opposed to Resin. So you hear the in your mind. Unfortunately, the use of this scroll for our immediate needs is actually a tad more expensive per casting. 2,100 gold. Was that 20 words or 25 words?
That was
Oh, there's 21.
I'm
There's
not-
20. There's 20
I'm
words.
counting.
There's
I'm
20
not
words.
counting. I'm
So
listening.
sorry, 5 more. 2,100 gold per scroll. We need 2. And the reason being, just so you guys know, casting restoration specifically to get rid of a permanent negative level is
One per each.
1,000 gold pieces per casting in material components. Then the scroll itself is normally, like if you were buying it at regular market value, 700 gold pieces. But obviously the Congress knows that these are, with how this world works, anything above 3rd level has like additional fees and taxes and whatnot onto it. So 2,100 gold per scroll.
Fuck.
I can't reply.
You can, 25 words or
You
less.
can.
It's as per the spell sending.
Get them. We have the money.
Do,
Oh.
do you say like how many or whatever?
Your name's Risen.
Hmm.
I see what you did there.
There's a whole joke to that before. And actually, Wade was watching the stream as we were talking about what his real name was versus his nickname. Because of Varyn and
That
Devin.
is
Yeah.
that is very much a Wade joke.
Yeah. So we were like, he got to be there for it. Anyways, so so he will come back to you guys about 2 hours after that, allowing you to finish your conversation.
Does he bring the things?
Yeah, he'll bring the scrolls, but you were in the middle of a conversation with Neil, and I don't want to. I
Okay,
interrupted it because of timing. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, he just hands over the things to you. And with whatever he said.
When I look, even the lesser ones seem to have an ability to try, and I assume sway. The one at the house attempted when I looked out the window.
So I just put these in my eyes.
Yes. I can put it in for you. So
Yes,
more
yes,
comfortable.
please. Yeah.
Viggo will put it in his eye.
Very uncomfortable.
What? Why did that looked really weird? Because you like looked away and hid your mouth as you replied. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. But like, it looked like you were hiding your mouth as you replied, like a ventriloquist.
Oh, is this what it's like for you? He'd look at Galen.
Not quite. Mine is a bit more Feels more like a second skin.
It's horrible.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. Better than having your mind bent. Has Triss ever been under mind control? Don't think
No.
so. Yeah, no, it's. Actually, when I say, given what stuff that's happened, when I say it's better than having your mind bent, there's sort of like a pause and just. It's not a pleasant experience.
Triss would like glance at Galen and then say, "Well, appreciated. I guess we go."
No worries. You two are our hope. The fact that you did it before is exceptional. I know circumstances were in your favor, but with a little more backup, hopefully you can put him down for good.
We didn't do it before.
We
We
didn't
barely
know,
made it through, to be honest.
we didn't know what we were fighting properly. I mean, before.
That's
and
all the
we
more
were-
impressive.
We were also I'm arguing out of character. I'm arguing that like I think as like a good thing we can do this. We didn't know what we were doing before. We had to act instantly because of the situation. If we have a plan, if we do this properly, we can do this.
Dreyfus knows that we know about him this time.
True. But we also have more knowledge and backup this time.
I wonder if Risen. His name's Risen.
Huh.
I wonder if he might get lucky and be able to do what he did to the. You know how he commands them? Wouldn't that be
That would be something. Just
yeah.
hold still while Tristan lines up his charge.
Yep.
That would be something.
I doubt Dreyfus would give us the opportunity to fight in such a beneficial place to us.
I think you're probably correct, Tris. But
I
you
wonder
know,
how long it takes him to get back to fighting fit if he's not already.
I imagine pretty quickly, unfortunately. I expected
Well-
the sun to do more to him, but it looked like it hurt him, but it didn't. It wasn't. I was hoping it would do more.
Well, with Risen's help, we will hopefully. I mean, Risen's been here for a long time, and Dreyfus hasn't been able to get rid of him yet. So
Indeed. I'm
I don't
gonna.
have anything more to say.
I mean, Triss would like nod to the others and be like, "There's sleeping rooms up this way,"
Yeah,
and
that's a
then
good
and
idea.
head up to the one that he was pointed out.
Galen would definitely want to be getting some sleep.
I said a couple hours later, Risen returns. And so it's Rezen as opposed to Rezin. or IZEN as opposed to REZIN.
I
Risen
imagine
returns.
it's not asleep later.
Yes, 2 hours later, as I was saying beforehand.
cool.
2 hours later, he returns, and he has the scroll with him. He has a couple scrolls with him, but also another individual. The individual comes walking in, looking entirely like taken aback by like the manor, the gnomes, so on and so forth. And he, what more or less where you guys are resting, you hear like a doof, doof, doof. His lord has requested your attention.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I guess Trish should head down. His lord.
You go
He's
down.
only doing all of this because it benefits himself. He's a lawful evil character through and through.
Yeah, unfortunately, we need his help.
It's funny enough, he's not actually evil. Anyways, so you guys make your way down, and you can see there's a guy that looks, he's dressed like not the best. You know what I mean? Not terrible clothes, but also not just the best either. Looks a little nervous, a little uncomfortable. He's holding a cup of tea in his hands, and he looks like a little out of place. As you guys come walking in, looking at the group of you, and just, again, looks a little surprised seeing the group of you there, and this is kind of like, looks just out of sorts. Looks like he doesn't belong, so on and so forth. And to which Risen says, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me downstairs. Allow me to introduce you to an associate of mine. He is a former, he looks at him, member of the Black Knights. Don't worry, your identity does not matter. You are being completely, what's the word I'm looking for here? When everything's expunged, when you're being granted complete amnesty for all charges against the Black Knights by, of course, Lieutenant Centurion Viggo here, isn't he?
Is.
Oh, god damn it.
Chris crosses his arms.
He says, he is someone who spent a degree of time studying at the clergy in his youth prior to deciding that walking down that path was not the life meant for him. Eventually found his way to Malisal Harbor, to which I, of course, knew his value, and took him under my wing. And he looks at him and says, I didn't know who you were. I didn't know that. I don't know who you are. And he goes, I've told you already. My name is Resin. And it is perfectly fine that you know it. The Black Knights are no longer, and nobody's getting in trouble for them anymore. I actually helped to dissolve them. You're welcome. With this amnesty, you're able to go back to living a life on the up and up. Perhaps away from Malisal Harbor, though. There's reason to believe that your life will be in danger after tonight. So I've already secured a wagon to bring you to the edge of town, and you will leave with a pocket full of coin and a smile on your face. And he's like, but my mates. And he looks at him and says, are not as talented or as valuable as you are. And so for their crimes, they'll likely be judged, and whatever punishments need to be doled out will be doled out. You are uniquely talented, and so you have a unique opportunity. Leans in. Don't blow it. Smiles again. Again, gnomes have big mouths, so gnomish smile is like somewhat off-putting.
It's creepy.
It's a little creepy. So he smiles again and sends back up and looks at Viggo. After he joins the Black Knights, he also, he had a bit of training in other ways of manipulating magic items. I knew that his training was limited, but having him have a deeper understanding of how these things work put him into certain responsibilities. And he looks up and he goes, wait, is that why I always got those tasks? He looks at him and says, aces in their places, indeed. And looks back and goes, and since we're dealing with the Dice Lords, we don't want to leave anything to chance. So, this young man here has some basic understanding of how it is to use his faith to do minor miracles, minor healing, so on and so forth. Nowhere near the degree of power that we need for this. But this does mean that he understands the magical fundamentals of this kind of spell. which works in our benefit. Moreover, his training on utilizing the various wands and scrolls and the like that I've given him over the past year and a half has given him a deeper understanding of how to use the scroll, even though it's beyond the regular person's ability. I truly believe that he has a chance here to be able to do more than what we would be able to do. I could give it a go, but let's be honest, this is well outside of my wheelhouse. And the last thing I would want to do is to turn Tristan's left leg into that of a frog's.
Well, you wouldn't have brought him here if you thought you'd be able to do a better job yourself.
He nods and says, "Indeed," and slaps the poor the poor guy's arm. He's a parent man, but he's like younger, so probably like 25-ish. So if any of you aren't parent, you probably wouldn't even notice that he's parent. Even if you are, it probably takes a hot minute for you to realize, oh, okay, I see he's parent. Gotcha. My dad's actually going to be meeting me over there to help me fix that, so I got to shore this up pretty quickly. So he pulls out the scrolls and he shows them to you to look them over to make sure you understand what it is you're working with. There's no foul play or anything like that here. However, you don't have to detect magic or read magic or anything else or any other way of knowing what it is. So I imagine you give it a cursory glance and you just nod like you understand what's happening. It's like when your friend hands you a fine bottle of wine, but you don't know the first fucking thing about wine. And so you're just like, oh, looks good. Neil's been in that scenario.
You think my friends hand me fine bottles of wine?
You're British. I just assume posh.
Wow.
All right. So they have he hands the first scroll over to him and says, this man here has been negatively afflicted by the touch of a powerful creature that has lived long past its natural life. You were trying to reverse this. It's a degree of restoration. And he goes, oh, no, I never mastered restoration, sir. And he goes, don't call me sir. My name is Resin. And you understand the fundamentals of how this works. You will use that to your advantage. And he kind of shakes his head and he goes, well, that kind of stuff requires a degree of wisdom that I don't have. Like, I don't have that innate ability. And he touches the guy on the nose in a very condescending way, like a boop. And he goes, and that is why you've had the training that I've given you. Because you can emulate that ability without even trying. You can actually convince the scroll in your hands and the intelligence of the magics, the innate intelligence of the magic, that you are more than what you are. Because you are indeed more than what you are. And one day you'll realize that. And that day you'll become very expensive. But until then, we're going to avoid prison, okay? And he goes, okay. And so this poor chap, who's a first level cleric, second level rogue, is going to pull out the scroll and start using the abilities to his ability. Luckily for you, as a third level rogue, he has a rogue talent called Expert Cipher, which means that he can use linguistics to decipher a in a full round action instead of the usual minute, which is fine. But in addition, when he attempts to use magic device check to cast a spell from a scroll, he's treated as though he has the minimum score appropriate to the ability score to cast a spell. So the fact that this man only has an 11 wisdom doesn't mean shit for a 4th level spell. He just instantly is treated as though he has a 14 for the sake of casting the spell per this ability. Finally, they can use their intelligence modifier instead of charisma modifier for their thing. And he's actually smarter than he is charismatic. So boom. Again, useful for the sake of this ability. Also at 3rd level, he was able to pick up a second rogue talent by grabbing the extra talents feat. That is once per day, the rogue may use this talent to re-roll a UMD check. They have to take the second result even if it's worse than the first. Yeah. Hopefully we don't need that. Okay.
Wait,
This is
did
what
you say
happens.
He's going to use his intelligence? Is that what you said?
Instead of his charisma modifier for UMD.
Can I give him an what is it? The Fox's Cunning?
So it's one of those things too, where he maybe like while he's looking over the scroll and deciphering and whatnot, he what's his fuck will have an aside with you, and we'll have a quick little aside with you and be like, hey, he'll have a quick little aside with you and kind of like explain Like, oh yeah, listen, he has the ability to outthink things that usually require first of personality. His mind is strong enough that it's even overtakes his lack of wisdom. I swear, this boy has talents. He could have gone places. Instead, he's gonna have to go somewhere else.
What this is what happens when you take someone who's new to Pathfinder and the DM helps them make a build, and they're just like, why am I so strong? I don't understand what I'm doing.
Yep. It's literally what the 150-year-old gnome did. So so you say, I get something that can, and he goes, is that Fox's cunning?
Can the party keep him?
Yes, it is.
He looks at you with a sly look and says, indeed a fox in the hen house. He'll take the potion.
Sometimes he's like unintentionally super creepy.
He's a necromancer. He's supposed to give you a shiver down your spine. He'll take the potion and he'll deliver it to him and say, drink this. And he's like, what is drink it? And he's like, yes, sir. Glug, glug, glug. Whoa. That's incredible. He nods and says, indeed. Looks back and says, Tristan, are you ready?
Viggo says, it's also 300 gold you just drank.
Push, push. Pish posh. We both know you make it in a fraction of that. Now, Tristan, are you ready?
Tris will mutter a quick prayer to Kraylene under his breath. I think so. Just try not to turn my legs into frogs.
The gnome will smile, and he looks at the gentleman, and he says, and you can start in 3, 2, 1 week till we get the results, because my wife was even texting me saying, hey, you should probably get over there.
I fucking knew it.
Rory
I could feel he was getting ready for that.
So we'll make this die roll next week. First thing we start off with after our bullshit. So we'll do that then. Anybody want to say any important outros before we go?
Yes, I do. So I'm gonna put the thing in chat. Twitch.tv .tv, not /TV. So I've got a friend called Jay Sniperton, and he's going to be doing St. Jude's charity streams next week. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get the name right. Talking while putting it in at the same time is hard. So I will be joining him on, will hopefully be joining him on one of these streams, barring something getting in the way.
What time?
But that's what I'm giving now. May 17th and May 21st, both at the same time. So May 17th, the Saturday, and Tuesday, and then May 21st, the Saturday at 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. PST, which I know for some people is a really awkward time. But if you're around at that time, we'll be doing PST. Yes.
Oh, okay. So I thought you were going to do an Australian thing. So what were the times again?
1 a.m. to 4 a.m. PST. And we're doing a bunch of raids in Destiny, which, if you know anything about Destiny, it's really hard endgame content. But chat will be able to mess with us by donating, like make us switch up loadouts, make us change class, make us change abilities, and we'll have to still try and continue the raid. And we'll be at that channel. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. As I said, I'll be joining hopefully for one of them, barring something getting in the way. But either way, they'll be happening, and I can attest that he is hilarious, and you'll enjoy if you go and support the stream.
Cool, awesome. That is. I was like, oh, I wonder if I can in any way be a part. Nope. Starts at 2 a.m. my time.
No, yeah, I was going to say, like, it's one of those things where it's that time is very much more an Australian time.
Yeah.
That's when he normally does his streams. But if anyone's around at that time, it's there for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then like you said, you'll be kind of popping off at the tail end of that and hopping into this one next Wednesday to find out the results from Tristan.
Yeah. Next
bring
week,
luck.
Yeah. If I do go on.
What's your goal? What's your donation goal?
I don't know if he has a goal set. It's just started the first inklings of organizing today.
I'll make this incentive for viewers here, because you might be waking up shortly before that, because you'll be watching this at the tail end of that one. If they hit their donation goal, I'll give a nice fat modifier to I'll give, like, let's say it's a magic item or whatnot that the gnome happens to give the guy, to give him a +5 to their thing. So a little incentive there.
Yeah.
For Neil's sake.
So just so you guys know, the Tuesday one literally goes until the start of this session.
Yep.
And then, so I'll be jumping off that straight into this. So that's why he was talking about like the tail end.
Yeah. So if they hit the goal, I'll give this guy a +5 to his check result. Because he has, I think, 2 checks he still needs to make to accomplish this. But either way, perfect. 2 checks per scroll, I think he has to do. But perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you tonight over on Lost Initiative at 9 p.m. EST. I got to go and fix something before I have water flooding my basement, and then I have to go get my daughter from school.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, let's find somebody to raid real quick. Let me mute you. To answer your question, will there be time to... I can do that while I'm driving over there, but then my dad is going to be over there. I'm not going to be rude to my dad. So I could totally do a quick chat starting in about 15 minutes at about 11:30 a.m. EST. Okay, let's go raid Ollie, say hi, and then about 15 minutes or so, I could hop onto a call for maybe about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, okay? Bye.